Hello Gemini, my name is Megan and welcome to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like and comment on this video if it just so happens to resonate with you. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the person that's on your mind currently. My readings are for sun, moon, and rising signs. One more shuffle. Let's get into it. Gemini and the person that is on their mind currently. Whoa, that flew out and flipped over. You're not feeling like your intuition is as strong as it normally is. You may also be feeling really misunderstood, especially lately with all the Mercury being in retrograde. I don't know about you guys. Those energies have been wildly intense. For some of you, you had a disagreement. You had an intuitive hit that this person wasn't telling you the truth, having to do with another option, and a disagreement ensued because of that. You really got an intuitive hit that this person was juggling, but when you confronted this person or when you spoke to this person about it, about how you were feeling, they may have actually ended things because they were seeing someone else, right? And then in order to avoid taking accountability, they came up with some excuse like the distance is too far or this or that. You know, a lot of times when someone's guilty of what we kind of come at them with, and we can always come at people in a nice way. It doesn't have to be an aggressive way, but you know, either way, if someone ever sort of deflects from the issue at hand, and they just kind of are like, you know what, this probably isn't working anyway, the distance is too far, you can bet your that they're probably guilty of what you were having an issue with. They just didn't want to argue about it, have a fight about it. You're dealing with somebody who's very avoidant. They'll do anything they can to have a disagreement, but it looks like there is a disagreement here. And a lot of times when we deal with avoidance, anytime there is a disagreement, it really can pick at their childhood wounds, any childhood trauma that avoidants have, and they do typically tend to end things. They would rather just end things than have the conflict and work it out together. You know, normally in a relationship, there's going to be conflict. It's normal. You have literally two different energies with separate astrology, separate numerology, coming together and trying to live life together. And that can be very challenging. It can be extremely rewarding in certain aspects, but it can be incredibly challenging in other aspects. And as far as an aspect like this, you know, when there is a conflict or when one partner does have an issue with something that's going on in the relationship and they address it, if the other person, you know, avoids, just ends things, runs away, well, what's the point in the relationship? That, to me, that screams that this person was actually doing up to no good. But this person gaslighted you, right? High Priestess reverse. This person was gaslighting you, trying to make you feel like, how could you even think that? Making you feel like maybe my intuition was wrong. Maybe my intuition wasn't right about this, you know? But in reality, it was spot on. They're just deflecting to the point where they may have ended things. That's how correct your intuition was. For many of you, you're wondering, well, what did I do wrong? Why did they end things? And you're pretty heartbroken right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Three of Swords. How is Gemini feeling at the deepest level about this person? Okay. That didn't want to flip over, but Nine of Wands. This is really testing your faith. Like I said, it's testing your intuition. For some of you, you still don't know if this person was having other options or not. If this person was lying about that or not. You still don't know if you know, maybe you were being a little bit paranoid, or if this person was having other options. And I'm going to go back to what I said before, you know. Usually if someone avoids having the conversation or deflects to something else, or worse, even goes off and ends the connection because they don't want to talk about this, have this conversation, it usually means they were up to no good with exactly what your intuition was spot on about. For many of you, this person's just a master manipulator and really made you second guess yourself. How does this person feel about Gemini at the deepest level? They would like to move things into calmer waters, but at the end of the day, I feel like even this person knows that they're very uncommittal. They're uncommittal. They're used to having other options. You may be dealing with a life path 5 or someone born on a 5 day. 5 energy is typically very non-committal. Their 5s are here to really travel, be adventurous. It's also the number of physical pleasure. So people with 5 energy typically are not, it's advised that they don't necessarily commit or settle down. Kids are a different thing, but when getting married, as well as there's other numbers in there as well. But 5s especially, and there's also astrology that plays into that. I have a best friend. She's actually a double 5 in numerology, but she has astrology placements that really make her a lot more consistent than a lot of those 5s. I've dated a couple double 5 guys, and they were not so consistent because they had opposite astrology from my friend, and it made them even more of a player with the astrology that they had. But my friend, she's a double 5, but she loves to be in relationships. She's very good at it. I always tell her that. Anyways, like I said, this person would like to move this connection into calmer waters, but it's like they just know at the end of the day they don't really want to settle down. They don't really want to get married. They love the excitement of always having something new, which good for them, but that's not very fun for you. So if that's how this person wants to be, by all means, they can go do that, but they need to do that away from you. Because hopefully, Gemini, you have a lot higher standards than keeping someone in your life who's going to, enjoy having other options. Don't become just this person's option. Don't do that. You're so much better than that. What's some advice that we can give Gemini regarding this situation? Actually, let's get a different deck. Understand this person has a massive ego. And a lot of times, people who keep options in rotation, who have a roster of options, a lot of the time, most of the time, those are the same people that do have massive egos. And the reason for the massive egos and they're wanting to get that validation from multiple sources is a low vibrational state, but also low self-confidence. Anyone who keeps a lot of options, it makes them feel good, right? Like they can get anything. Like I got her. Let me see if I can get her or him. It makes them feel good because their self-worth is not at a standard where they're happy in solitude on their own. You're dealing with somebody who constantly has to be surrounded by people that take that dopamine indicator in their brain. I don't know. That's not the right wording, but you get my drift. They constantly need that validation, and it's from multiple people. So as much as they would love for things to really be settled between you two, to move this into a lot calmer waters, I feel like this person actually just chose to end this connection out of nowhere. Again, yeah, 2 of Wands reverse. This person could definitely be looking at other options, and it's like even though they want to move this into calmer waters, they also know in order to do that, they would have to change. And I'm not getting that they want to change because, like I said, they love getting that validation from multiple sources. But just understand, Gemini, and this can be hard for me to grasp as well sometimes. Someone who has a lot of options like that, who keeps a roster, sometimes from the outside looking in, it looks so cool. Like, wow, that person must be like really special. They have all these people that want to date them. They must be really cool. Like, there must be something really awesome about them. I kind of want to check them out. Like, what's going on? Why do all these people like this person? When in reality, this person just plays all of these options as to the best of their ability. That they'll take these connections as far as they can without ever actually settling and committing, because having all of these options, be obsessed with this person, is where this person gets their self-confidence from. So if they go to settle down with you, all of that validation, external validation, is going to be taken from this person. So this person really has a lot of work to do spiritually speaking. A lot of work that, obviously, Gemini, if you're watching this, you're probably a pretty spiritual person, I would say. So if you're watching this, understand you're dealing with somebody who's either unhealed or they're not as spiritually aware as you are. And I know in my own life, when I've dated people who are not spiritually awake, it's like talking to a wall. Not that there's anything wrong with them or that I'm better because I know a lot more spiritual stuff. It's not that. It's just 2 different wavelengths. You know what I mean? But when you, a spiritually aware person, interact with another spiritually aware person, especially in a romantic sense, it is so much fun. The conversations you can have, just that understanding of being a spiritual person and what it means to be a spiritual person. You know, spirituality isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Most of the time, most of us have been through crucial pain in our lives that have taken us down the spiritual route. This is somebody who really needs to kind of understand that this type of energy of getting this validation from external sources, it's a false form of confidence. True confidence is being sturdy and secure in your own. Like where you could honestly not talk to anyone for a month and you still have all the confidence in the world of I got this going for me, I got this going for me, I'm good. When you're there and you don't need all this external validation, that is when the universe starts up-leveling your life, starts rewarding you with love connections coming in. It's all about being solid and whole in here, and this person is nowhere near that. 2 of Wands reverse and 7 of Cups. They're always on the lookout for other options. And if they were to move this to calmer waters with you, that would mean giving up their external validation. And they're not willing to do that. And therefore, Gemini, let's pull some advice. What's some advice for Gemini regarding this situation? Yeah, understand with the Moon card there, understand that this person and their illusions and their lies, I am getting that they lied about other options, things like that. Having this person in your life and their illusionatory ways, it just creates extra work, extra burdens for you to not only like in the physical world, like for you to think about throughout your day and stuff, but mentally, it's like there's all these mental burdens when it comes to this person because they do keep other options and they make you feel like your intuition isn't right about it when it is. And then when you go to confront them, they may have ended things. How's this person, if this person ended things, how are they feeling now that they ended things? Okay, they're a little regretful when they think about how they had to walk away. They're a bit regretful. However, they know that it was necessary because you were right. With that Justice card there, you were right. This person knows that how they walked away wasn't necessarily the best. They could have just ghosted, or they acted very detached. They kind of just discarded you like it was nothing. Understand, Gemini, it's because you were onto them. It's because you caught on to whatever it was that they were doing and they wanted to avoid taking accountability. What's some advice that we can give Gemini? The Empress card and the Strength card. Be strong during this. Also really focus on what it is that you're trying to manifest. We have that infinity symbol right there. Many of you, like I said, are very spiritual. Understand that you have so much to give. So the advice here is to really just be strong. Some of you may be dealing with a Leo, or you may have Leo in your own birth chart, or Taurus and Libra. Understand you have a lot to give. This connection is also going to teach you a lot that you're going to use down the road for many of you. That's what I'm picking up. But other than that, understand that you have so much more to give than this person is even used to. That's why they had the thought of moving this to calmer waters. It's like, you're so much better than this person's even used to dealing with, like all these little cups, right? You come in with this Empress, Queen of Cups energy, and this person didn't even know how to handle it or what to do because they're not used to that. And they're not used to somebody who calls them out on having other options, which the Empress, Queen of Cups, that's how you're showing up, Gemini. You're not gonna, also I know Geminis, you guys aren't gonna let that slide. You're not gonna let this slide with another person, and you didn't. And that's where they could have had this come to an end. How they feel now that this has come to an end, or the advice, I guess, here is just be strong. But also, you know, realize you have a lot to give, not only emotionally speaking, but just in general, just your aura. For some of you, I'm getting just your aura and being around it. Like there's so many people out there who want to be around you. So try not to let this person get you down. I'm also getting that this person, now that they've ended things, for those of you that they have ended things, they're in deep regret now. It's like now they see your worth, now that you've ended things, and they're dealing with people who are much, how do I say this? have qualities that are less significant than the ones that you carry, as far as talent, beauty, all of those things. They're dealing with options that just aren't, they don't compare to you. They don't compare to you emotionally speaking. They don't compare to how well you may have been there for this person, how stable you may have been for this person. This person's really missing that. But at the end of the day, I am seeing that you have an understanding now that you have way too much to give. You have way more to give than a connection like this is going to ever. Basically what I'm trying to say in some weird sense is this connection is never going to be satisfying for you. Someone who holds a lot of other options is not ever going to be somebody who makes you feel like the special person that you are. So that is what I have for you today, Gemini. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, I will see you guys next time.